Welcome to the hybrid public hearing for State Road 368, 23rd Street Project Development and Environment Study. If you are not hearing the audio at this time, please check your computer speaker settings. If you experience technical difficulties, please contact technical support at anna.linehan@atkinsrealis.com. In the event of technical difficulties during the open house or the public hearing, please stay online while we work to resolve the issue. Good evening. The Florida Department of Transportation would like to welcome you to the public hearing for State Road 368, 23rd Street PD&E study. My name is Taylor Sellers. I am the District 3 Project Manager for this PD&E study and will be moderating tonight's public hearing. The public hearing is for the financial project identification number 441037-1-22-01 and the efficient transportation decision-making identification number 14408. On behalf of the Florida Department of Transportation, we would like to thank you for your interest in this study. I am being supported by the representatives of FDOT District 3 and the consultant team. We are hosting this public hearing in person at Gulf Coast State College in Panama City, Florida, and virtually through GoToWebinar. I would also like to take a moment and thank any elected officials who are in attendance for tonight's public hearing. We appreciate your interest and involvement in this project. We will now turn our attention to the narrated public hearing presentation.
Good evening. The Florida Department of Transportation would like to welcome you to the public hearing for the State Road 368, 23rd Street Project Development and Environment, or PD&E study, financial project identification number 441037-1-22-01, and efficient transportation decision-making, or ETDM number 14408. In addition to the PD&E staff here, a representative from the District Right-of-Way Department is here and will be available after the public hearing if you have questions regarding right-of-way acquisition on this project. A transcript is being made of all oral proceedings and will be part of the public record for this project. Before we start the presentation, I will share a few details to help you participate in this public hearing through GoToWebinar. On your computer or device screen, you should see an information window that looks like the one in the upper right corner shown here. To listen to the public hearing, your computer or device speakers are selected by default. If you prefer to listen by phone, select Phone Call in the audio pane of the control panel and dial in using the information displayed. All virtual attendees will be placed in listen-only mode throughout the public hearing. At a later date, we will provide responses to written comments that were submitted during online registration and those submitted at the in-person venue. The comment period begins as soon as the presentation has ended. Verbal comments from the in-person meeting will be addressed first. Verbal comment requests submitted during online registration will be addressed second. Providing verbal comments using GoToWebinar is simple. First, you must request to speak when registering to attend. During the comment period, the organizer will call your name that you provided at registration and unmute you. If the microphone icon is green, you are ready to make your comment. If the microphone icon is orange, you will need to click the microphone icon once and it will notify that you are unmuted, and then you can provide your comment. You will not be on any camera at any time if you join online. During the public comment period after the formal presentation, in-person participants will be called upon to speak first, followed by the virtual online speakers who wish to speak. If you dialed into the public hearing by telephone, your phone was automatically placed in listen-only mode and will remain in listen-only mode throughout the public hearing. Those attending in person and virtually may make a public comment when called upon. A recording of the webinar will be available on the project website 3 days after the hearing. You can also call or email the FDOT project manager after the public hearing to request additional project information. All comments must be submitted or postmarked by Monday, August 18, 2025, to be part of the official public hearing record. Prior to the public hearing, draft engineering and environmental documents were made available for public review at the Gulf Coast State College Welcome Center on July 10, 2025, and will be on display until Monday, August 18, 2025, at the same location. The Welcome Center is located at 5230 West Highway 98, Panama City, Florida 32401. All public hearing documents are in the chat box area designated for documents and are available for viewing and download. The documents are also available on the project website, www.nwflroads.com/calendar. You may also view project documents tonight at the in-person public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to share information with the general public about the proposed improvement, its conceptual design, all alternatives under study, and the potential beneficial and adverse social, economic, and environmental impacts upon the community. The public hearing also serves as an official forum, providing an opportunity for members of the public to express their opinions regarding the project. This study satisfies the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, and other policy regulations and procedures. There are three primary components to tonight's hearing. First, the open house, which occurred prior to this presentation, where you were invited to view the project displays and speak directly with the project team and provide your comments in writing or to the court reporter. Second, this presentation, which will explain the project purpose and need, study alternatives, potential impacts, both beneficial and adverse, and proposed methods to mitigate adverse project impacts. And third, a formal comment period following this presentation. For those attending in person, you will have the opportunity to provide oral statements at the microphone, or you may provide your comments directly to the court reporter or in writing. For those attending in listen-only mode, comments may be emailed or mailed to the FDOT project manager. The contact information can be found in the handout located in the control panel during this session, which you can download onto your own device. You may also visit nwflroads.com/calendar for more details. This PD&E study has been conducted by the FDOT District 3 in compliance with all applicable federal environmental laws and pursuant to 23 United States Code Section 327 and the implementing Memorandum of Understanding between FDOT and the Federal Highway Administration signed on May 26, 2022, establishing the FDOT Office of Environmental Management in Tallahassee as the approving authority. This public hearing was advertised consistent with the federal and state requirements shown on the slide and is being held to provide you with the opportunity to comment on this project. Public participation at this hearing is encouraged and solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express their concerns about Title VI may do so by contacting either the FDOT District 3 office or the Tallahassee office of the Florida Department of Transportation. This contact information is displayed at the public hearing on this screen and also provided in the project handout. FDOT is conducting a PD&E study for this project. The PD&E process evaluates potential impacts to determine an alternative using continuous community outreach to ensure that all interested parties have meaningful participation in the process. Public input and information received at the public hearing will be taken into consideration when preparing the final documents for this study. A virtual project update was held on March 24, 2024. Following tonight's public hearing, FDOT will finalize the study documents and conclude the study in the winter of 2026. This project is funded for the PD&E study phase within the 5-year FDOT work program. It is currently not funded for design, right-of-way, or construction within the 5-year work program. The study limits extended on State Road 368, 23rd Street from US 98 flyover to State Road 390, St. Andrews Boulevard in Bay County, approximately 1.8 miles in length. The purpose of the project is to accommodate future traffic volumes and address safety issues along State Road 368, 23rd Street from US 98 to State Road 390, St. Andrews Boulevard. The project is needed to evaluate traffic congestion and safety concerns on State Road 368, 23rd Street. The existing typical section for State Road 368, 23rd Street consists of 4 lanes that range between 11 feet and 12 feet wide, with an 11 to 13-foot two-way center left turn lane, 4-foot bicycle lanes, and sidewalks that range between 5 to 6 foot on both sides. The current right-of-way varies along the corridor from a minimum of 80 feet wide to a maximum of 126 feet wide. The current access management classification is Class 6. The current context classification is C3C, Suburban Commercial. The preferred alternative proposes to widen State Road 368, 23rd Street from 4 to 6 lanes. It includes modifications to the Post and Bayou Bridge, intersection improvements, access management, and multimodal facilities. Please see the concept boards located at the in-person facility and provided online in the documents chat box or at www.nwflroads.com/calendar for easy viewing for more detail. The preferred alternative was developed to avoid impacts to Frank Nelson Park and the City of Panama City's wastewater treatment plant, which are both located on the south side of the existing right-of-way. As such, a left widening alternative was chosen. The preferred alternative is broken into 2 typical sections. The first begins at the US 98 flyover and goes to Collegiate Drive, West 22nd Street. It includes 3 lanes in each direction, with 11-foot inside lanes and 12-foot outside lanes. It features a shared use path on the west side and a sidewalk on the east side of the roadway, both separated from the roadway by a 9-foot sodded buffer. The roadway also includes a grassed raised median. A bicycle lane is present on the east side to service the multimodal features from the flyover. The second typical begins at Collegiate Drive, West 22nd Street, and ends at the State Road 390 intersection. It includes 3 lanes in each direction, with 11-foot inside lanes and 12-foot outside lanes. It features a shared use path on the west side and a sidewalk on the east side of the roadway, both separated from the roadway by a 9-foot sodded buffer. The roadway also includes a grassed raised median. Bicycle usage will be available on the shared use path. The Post and Bayou Bridge will be a 6-lane roadway with pedestrian bicycle barrier on both sides of the bridge. A 12-foot shared use path with a traffic barrier resulting in 13.3 feet total is located on the west-north side of the roadway, and a 6-foot sidewalk with a traffic barrier resulting in 7.3 feet total is located on the east-south side. An important element of any PD&E study is the evaluation of potential project impacts and benefits. A wide range of environmental resources was evaluated, including various social, cultural, natural, and physical features. Engineering and traffic factors were also considered. Impacts to resources for the preferred alternative are further discussed on the following slides. A comparison of the impacts for the preferred alternatives are provided in project documents. The total estimated project cost of the preferred alternative is $244 million. Based on the project evaluation, the department has determined there are no adverse or disproportionate impacts to low-income, minority, or protected population groups by the proposed improvements. The preferred alternative will primarily take place within the existing right-of-way with the exception of 44 parcels. One of the unavoidable consequences on a project such as this is the necessary relocation of residences or businesses. On this project, we anticipate the relocation of 24 businesses. All right-of-way acquisition will be conducted in accordance with Florida Statute 339.09 and the Federal Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970, commonly known as the Uniform Act. If you are required to make any type of move as a result of a Department of Transportation project, you can expect to be treated in a fair and helpful manner and in compliance with the Uniform Relocation Assistance Act. If a move is required, you will be contacted by an appraiser who will inspect your property. We encourage you to be present during the inspection and provide information about the value of your property. You may also be eligible for relocation advisory services and payment benefits. If you are being moved and you are unsatisfied with the department's determination of your eligibility for payment or the amount of that payment, you may appeal that determination. You will be promptly furnished necessary forms and notified of the procedure to be followed in making that appeal. A special word of caution. If you move before you receive notification of the relocation benefits that you might be entitled to, your benefits may be jeopardized. A representative from the District Right-of-Way Department is here tonight and will be able to provide you with further assistance if you have questions regarding residential or business relocations on this project. Section 106 of the Natural Historic Preservation Act requires agencies to consider the effects of their actions on cultural resources. One historic site within the project area, the Atlanta and St. Andrews Bay Railroad, is eligible for listing in the National Register of Historic Places. However, no adverse effects to this resource will occur due to the preferred alternative. Concurrence from the State Historic Preservation Officer on the cultural resource findings was received in December of 2024. There will not be any right-of-way acquisition at Frank Nelson Park, resulting in a no-use determination related to Section 4F protections. No degradation of water quality is anticipated as a result of this project. The project area has 0 acres of wetlands due to the urbanized area within the project corridor. There is anticipated 0.49 acres of other surface waters impacts due to the expanded Poston Bayou footprint. These are not expected to substantially affect the stability or overall quality of the surrounding resources. Floodplain encroachment is expected in 2 locations. However, it is expected that no significant increase in the 10-year floodplain will occur with the proposed improvements. Essential fish habitat, Panama City crayfish, is present along Poston Bayou. However, minimal impacts to the essential fish habitat is anticipated due to the proposed bridge widening. The project was evaluated for potential federal and state threatened and endangered species. The project may affect but is not likely to adversely affect the eastern indigo snake, giant manta ray, green sea turtle, Gulf sturgeon, Kemp's Ridley sea turtle, loggerhead sea turtle, West Indian manatee, wood stork, Florida skullcap, Godfrey's butterwort, Gulf Coast lupine, Henry's spider lily, telephus spurge, white birds in a nest. No adverse effect is anticipated by the project on the gopher tortoise and east tern. No effect is anticipated on the other 4 species and 2 plants which may occur within the project area. Within the project limits, a total of 3 sites were identified as having the potential for contamination. The potential for contamination risk levels for the 3 sites are medium. During the design phase, the sites will be further evaluated. The preferred alternative is expected to have no significant contamination impacts. 1 noise barrier is recommended for further evaluation in the project's final design phase, adjacent to the Ashland neighborhood. Access management classes are used to determine the locations of driveway connections, median openings, and traffic signals to improve safety and traffic flow. The current State Road 368 23rd Street facility is an Access Class 6. The preferred alternative is proposed as an Access Class 3 to better align with the adjacent context classification of C3C Suburban Commercial. Proposed access management modifications are on display at the in-person facility and can be found at www.nwflroads.com/calendar. The preferred alternative will not change the context classification of the roadway. If you have a concern regarding the access to your parcel, please provide your comments. Thank you. That concludes the formal presentation. We will now begin the public comment period of the public hearing. The next step is to incorporate your input on this public hearing into our decision-making process. After the comment period closes and your input has been considered, a decision will be made and the final PD&E document will be sent to the FDOT Office of Environmental Management for location and design concept acceptance. Please note that we will not be responding to your comments and questions today, but we will respond in writing at a later date. Anyone desiring to make a statement will now have an opportunity to do so. There are multiple ways you may provide your comments: written, verbally, or online.
We will now call upon the in-person participants who have requested to speak. As I call your number, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address. If you represent an organization, municipality, or other public body, please provide that information as well. We ask that you limit your comment to 3 minutes. Speaker number 3. Get the speaker up there.
After this, I'd like to I'm Bert Sutherland. I live at 2306 Ashland Drive, which it's obvious that this is going to encroach into my property. And I was told before that it would possibly be an acquisition, and I understand there's no property acquisitions. So I'd like to speak with the acquisition representative from your office after this. So I have some concerns. One is maybe I don't understand how you're doing a bridge, but are you going to make another flyover over that bridge?
We cannot answer questions right now. We'll have somebody able to talk to you afterwards.
And my comment on that is, my reasoning is because the earthworks that are there now are not good. It's already causing spall, which is fractured concrete to pop off the bottom of the bridge on the northwest side. Hence, as you drive across the bridge, you'll notice a 3 to 4 inch drop on that end of the bridge because it's falling down. There have been people out there from the state that patched it. I'm not sure patching is the answer at all. I wouldn't build anything else on top of it. I'd like to know about the proximity guidelines. How close can a structure, a road be to my property, my house, my domicile? I'd like to know about the difference between the width at the marina at Mound Avenue and the width of the road currently and proposed at Collegiate Drive in 23rd Street. I have concerns about the cul-de-sacs that are there. In your plan, in that neighborhood, you've added two little cul-de-sacs. One concern is for fire and emergency and evacuation. And the other is for insurance purposes for homes that are now further away or will be further away from the hydrant. How's that going to impact insurance for those homes? Noise abatement. I saw you had a very small wall up there. You've always needed to have noise abatement there. Trust me, I live next to the road. I purposely put a metal roof on my house and put in really good Anderson windows to reflect those acoustics to make our life a little easier there where we live at. I guess one of the same question was, are the fire hydrant locations, are they going to move some of those fire hydrant locations? Once you've done that, you won't be able to make a turn around that corner with an emergency vehicle of any type. And I had a question about partial impacts versus potential partial impacts. I want somebody to explain to me what a potential partial impact is. And I'd like to know what the noise barrier level is in decibel, and I'd like to know the study that was conducted for noise abatement in the past. What are the acceptable limits, and what are the proposed limits they think are going to happen when it's 6 lanes now instead of 3 lanes? And access to residences. I'd like someone to explain that to me a little better. How's that going to change? Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Speaker number 4.
No comment right now.
Speaker number 5.
My name is Charles Venable at 2307 Ashland. Obviously directly impacted just like Mr. Sutherland there. I guess just to piggyback on his questions regarding the impact, not only the noise, obviously with the abatement wall, noise abatement wall, but about the safety of the vehicles potentially crossing that wall down in the neighborhood, right to my house or my lawn. Not only that, but the lights that come through currently is a lot. You add 2 more lanes to that, it's going to be even more. The amount of trash that blows in off of 23rd Street just piles up right there next to the bridge. Obviously, a wall would help with a lot of that too. And then the maintenance of the grounds around there, I saw that there is proposed sod that goes between the 2 cul-de-sacs. But who's going to maintain all of that? Because no one maintains any of that grounds currently, other than me or Bert. Yeah, it attracts rodents, bugs. It's an eyesore. It collects trash, and we'd like to know who's going to be taking care of that also. Those are just my concerns. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Does anyone else desire to speak? If so, state your name, address, and complete a speaker's card after you're given your statement for the public record. Now I'm going to turn it over to our online moderator to call on those who would like to comment virtually.
Thank you, Taylor. At this time, no one has pre-registered to make an online comment. For those online wishing to make a public comment virtually, please use the Raise Your Hand button. I will call your name and then unmute you. Please make sure to also unmute your microphone on your end using the GoToWebinar control panel as shown on this slide. When it is your turn to speak, please state your name and address before making your comment. If you represent an organization, municipality, or other public body, please provide that information as well. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes, and before you speak, make sure you are not self-muted, which you can undo by clicking the microphone icon in the control panel. At this time, I'm not seeing any raised hands. Please use the raised hand button if you would like to make a comment. At this time, I do not see any participants who raised their hand to provide a comment. This concludes the virtual public comments. I'm going to hand it back to you, Taylor.
Thank you, Anna. All written comments must be postmarked or emailed to the project manager, myself, Taylor Sellers, no later than Monday, August 18th, 2025. My contact information is shown on this slide and is also located in the handout. You may also visit the project website on northwestfloridaroads.com to view documents and submit comments related to this project. The exact transcript of this hearing's oral proceedings, together with all written material received as part of the hearing record and all studies, displays, and informational material provided at the hearing, will be made a part of the project decision-making process and will be for public review upon request after Monday, August 18th, 2025. This concludes the public comment period. Thank you for attending this public hearing and providing your input into this project. It is now 6:30, and I hereby officially close the public hearing for State Road 368, 23rd Street PD&E study. Thank you for your participation. Have a safe evening.